This is the Best Of Show on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Yes.
I hope you're enjoying the Best Of. I know what you're thinking. If this is the best, my Christ, what was the rest like? Well, we'll be back in a week's time, so you can, judge it for yourself live. But anyway, in the meantime, this is one of the best clips I've ever heard.
Oh, I'm laughing just thinking about what it might be.
He said he's, you know, oh God, it's like a child or a cat when it's confused. He went, Steve reckons, in ancient Greece, right, it was better to shag a bloke than a woman. And I went, well, yeah. I mean, that's about the male being, sort of a first-class citizen, much better, wasn't it? An aspiration to sleep with a beautiful man than a beautiful woman.
Women were lower-class citizens, so therefore men were seen as higher. And so to have sexual relations with a man there was no shame in that.
No.
In fact, it was looked upon.
And
as
I said, well, you know, ancient Rome. I said, you know, Nero, he'd sit in his big jacuzzi, and he used to get, you know, pretty boy men to just go into the water and just nibble at his testicles while he was having a wash.
He didn't do that.
He did. Yeah.
And he's not a gay fella.
No, well, no. I mean, you know, I don't know about Nero, but I mean, it wasn't a case of a big delineation between what was heterosexual and what was gay. It was just, you know, whatever you.
So what did this fella do then? This one who's having his.
Well, he was pretty much top boy, Nero, for a while.
He was in charge.
And you know, and you did what you're told. If Caesar or.
But why were people going round there? Why didn't they go? Oh.
No, they weren't dropping in. It wasn't like the doors open. I'm just going to see what Nero's doing. You'd have probably been like a delivery boy or a stable boy or something, you know, and you'd have popped round there and you'd have gone, there, right, Nero, as the tablets of stone you wanted, and you go, Pilkington, why you are here? Pop under. I don't know why he's French.
What is that?
I don't know why he's French. Just pop under the water and nibble at my testicles, and you'd have done it.
Because he was Nero.
I wouldn't.
You would have.
There's no way I would have done.
Well, you would
What
have.
have I done? I've dropped a pizza off.
Yeah, you brought round to Nero's place with a pizza.
Dropped a pizza.
Right, I'd say I've done my job. Right?
Yeah.
That's not the sort of tip I wanted.
No, he'd have said, get the little baldy chap to nibble at my testicles, and you'd have been under the water.
I wouldn't have done it.
No,
Well,
you
don't
might
put me head under
You'd
water.
have done it, right.
No, I wouldn't have done it,
Can I just say this, Steve? Not only would you be nibbling at his testicles, you'd have been going mad. You'd have been noshing him just for extra. You'd have been doing everything he wanted. You'd have been going. He'd have gone, I didn't ask you to do that. You'd have been going mental. They'd have been chewing, slurping, smacking, poking. You'd have chopped. You'd have gnawed his packet off. You'd think you're eating Walker's crisps. There'd be bubbles. There'd be flood. Oh, it'd be horrible. That was Bowie and Waterloo Sunset. Love that. Love the original. Love Bowie. Bowie was my gig of the year. These are my singles of the year. These are our clips of the year. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant. We're just picking some lovely little bits and pieces.
Do you remember when we talked about this?
That's the sort of thing I think we need now, right? We've covered a lot of stuff.
What, education?
Teaching, yeah.
Well, okay, what do you want to know?
Don't know.
Have you got something? Can you educate us on anything?
I've been reading bits
So
and
could we
bobs.
bring back just for one night only, educating Ricky?
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah? Do you think it warrants that?
I don't know enough about it. You know what I mean?
About what?
It sounds perfect. Play the jingle.
Oh, educating Ricky. He's getting smarter.
A couple of things happened in the week that I read about.
Okay.
Keeping up on what's going on in that.
Sure.
Yeah.
One was about that Galileo fella.
Okay.
Was it about 1636? Was it?
I think it might have been
not
earlier.
bad.
Go on.
Did some stuff with light and that.
Yeah, he did lots of physical experiments, yeah.
Is that it then, Carl, is it? He
That's
did
that
some
sort
stuff
of-
with light and that.
What did he do with light? What was that?
Well, I think he invented the first...
Telescope.
Telescope. So I think it's a particular lens, though, and he did experiments where he dropped famously two different weighted balls from Pisa, and they hit the ground at the same time, showing that it doesn't matter, the weight doesn't matter, but air resistance does, and stuff like that.
I think he probably explained it a bit better than that.
Yeah, but I'm talking to Carl.
Sure.
But did they need to know
He's
stuff?
just thinking about pizza.
Yeah.
Did they need to know stuff like that back then?
What do you mean, did they need to know stuff like that? It's just...
There weren't people going around going, I've got to drop these two things off the bleeding tower of pizza. I just don't know which one's going to land first.
Yeah, I need to know. What do you need to
Bring
know
me
about?
Galileo.
Yeah.
It's for a bet.
Yeah.
No, but if I was knocking about then, I'd be like, stop messing with that. We need a telly. Or, do you know what I mean?
I bet he thinks the Flintstones is real.
I know.
That'd be brilliant. That's what I'd do if I was a caveman. I'd make a telly out of rock.
Yeah.
And a pelican
And a
as
car
a
that I
cement
just
mixer.
ran along the road with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need a car.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't really got the internal combustion engine. Can you stick your feet through the bottom? Yeah, just get me a car, for Christ's sake.
Anyway, so I learnt that. And
Yeah.
then,
What?
He learned his name.
Yeah.
Other people I learned the
Brilliant.
name of this week.
Oh, if a chimp could watch telly. Go on, Carl, go on.
and there was also a fella in the week who said, that women shouldn't be wearing trousers.
Why?
Because they don't look good in them. What do you think? What do you think about that?
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
These are the only things that have caught your eye over the last couple of weeks. This is the entire news.
Galileo did something with light. A French fella said women shouldn't wear trousers. See, that to me wouldn't pass as education.
It's not education.
I don't know where you could ever use that. I don't know when that would ever be applicable to life.
I just like reading stuff that sort of reminds me of. Do you know what I mean? If I read it and it gets me thinking, I think that's a good little piece.
But I mean, but surely can't you just sort of like sit near something that vibrates to keep your brain going, or shake your head every now and again? I mean, what does this do? You mean it makes you start using your brain?
But what aspect of a Frenchman said women shouldn't wear trousers got your mind working? What questions were you
Because I
asking?
thought that's a bit daft, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I
it
was
ends there
thinking-
with me. There's nothing else. There's nowhere else for me to go on that.
He closes
Your
the
mind's
gap.
still whirring.
Yeah, go on. What did you think? Let's go through this. Oh, I wish we could download his
I know,
thoughts.
I know.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great, like a DVD? And
like a cartoon.
Imagine that extra footage on the Office DVD.
Yeah, Carl's brain.
That would be
With a commentary.
amazing. Oh, with
I
a
mean is-
commentary. Go on.
Women wearing trousers and that, right? On the estate that I grew up in,
Yeah.
on right? There was a woman about 4 houses down, right?
Right.
Rough. Now, she used to wear leggings.
Yeah.
Now, they're a bad idea.
They are a terrible idea. I agree with you there, Carl. If you're a lady of
What
the
colour?
normo persuasion...
Were they pink?
No, they were sort of black, but with all bits on them.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean?
What,
Yeah.
toast and
Just
horse
bits.
droppings? Yeah, go on, yeah.
And she used to, she's quite a big woman.
Sure.
Pauline Quirk, I think
Yeah,
they
well,
described her as.
Looked like a light bulb when
It
she was
is those
bending
kind of
over in
women that are
leggings.
attracted to leggings.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
They are drawn to them like a moth that shoots on a flame.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
used to wear them, and that's what I remember when I read this piece. And she used to work on one of those sex line things.
Right.
Right, she used to do that. But
What was she, an engineer?
the weird thing with her was, she had big eyelids
Right.
Go on.
that were too big, and this is what I was thinking.
What
right?
do you mean she had big eyelids? How big do eyelids have to be for you to go, they're big eyelids? What was she shoplifting with them? Would she come out of Dixon's with, like, radio stored in them? What do you mean she
No,
had
it
big
was
eyelids?
It was another one of them popular things round our way. Do you know? Like,
What do you mean popular things? They didn't
people
go,
have
they go, oh, I'll tell you what, they're all the rage. Can I get some big eyelids, please?
No. It was just like one of them things that people suffered with. Just big eyelids. They could hardly open their eyes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's one of them popular things round where I grew up. People had big eyelids, they could hardly open their eyes. What does that mean? What sort of freak town were you born in? You had webbed feet people with big heads, you got women with big eyelids. What does big eyelids mean?
Are you confusing her with the horse?
Yeah. Did she have hooves? Look, what?
Anyway, so there's this big eyelidded woman with the
And
leggings.
that's what I'm saying to you, though. That's when I read that story with people with trousers.
Yeah.
I went from that.
Yeah.
To
into
a
that.
woman who used to have big eyelids. I still know the point.
But then, and also the other bloke who had the eyelid problem was a mate of mine.
Right.
His dad had it, and same problem, massive eyelids.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I used to say to my mum, I'm going round to Dave's house,
Yeah.
and
Or
to say,
droopy, as you call it.
that's all right, but make sure his dad doesn't take you out in the car because he could hardly. He could hardly see. He had to have his head.
He gets to tilt his head back to keep his eyes
Make
open.
sure! Did he have a couple of matches with him at all times?
What a load of gobbledygook. This began as educating Ricky.
I know, it's like
he was
people with eyelids.
But it's like you're supposed to make that leap as well.
Yeah.
If I mention the trousers, Ricky will probably be thinking about people with big eyelids and women wearing leggings.
Play a record, Carl.
I got a leaflet through the door saying, you know, if you want to walk a dog, you know, the rates are good. I don't know what they pay and that. And I thought if I do that and get a paper round, 2 in 1.
Sorry, you just went from a job, right, where you were the head of production at a radio station, dare I say it, on... can I discuss your...
Well, it was an alright wage, yeah.
It was very good.
But I wasn't happy, so it's pointless.
No, I know that, but to go from the head of a department on a lot of money to walking dogs and doing a paper round, I don't know.
No, but it's about being happy, isn't it?
I know, but that's commendable if that's true, but... okay.
And that makes you happier?
Well, I haven't walked the dog yet, but I'm just saying if I do... I mean, I'm not taking it if it's raining. I'm just thinking if it's a nice sunny day and I fancy a potter, I'll go round to her and say, well, how much are you paying? I'll take the dog a walk and stuff.
But I can't believe some of the words that have cropped up. Potter, cobblers, toffee shop. It's very, very strange.
Do you live in Narnia?
A lot of people are sort of emailing in sort of brainy stuff.
Brilliant.
And getting a lot of stuff about philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. Descartes, that's another one that's mentioned on an email.
Descartes,
yeah.
the French philosopher.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, he sort of cropped up on an email. Someone said, what do you think of him? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
He famously he pondered his own existence. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He was thinking about that. He was thinking, how do I know all this is true, everything around me? And he thought, well, I can see it and I can smell it and I can hear it. And he went, oh yeah, my senses can be fooled. I could be dreaming. But if I'm dreaming, then at least I'm alive. At least I have some sort of consciousness. So if I'm even thinking about anything, you know, I exist. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum.
But we don't need to know the Latin bit. Why is everyone always going back to Latin? It was ages ago. Why is that language always being... And were Latin people always in a rush? Because they seem to be like words for full sentences. Why couldn't they just take the time and say what they want to say? And it's just like, what was the rush?
To teach Latin.
What about Plato?
Right, Greek.
Right, now, would you say he's a bright bloke?
Yes, I would. I'd say he's a very, very bright bloke.
Right, let me tell you this. Right, if he's that bright, you know how he got killed?
No.
Got hit on the head by an egg.
Fucking hell! Well, he's not so clever then, is he?
That's what I'm saying.
Boo!
What's the story with the egg?
He was on holiday or something, right? And
He was on holiday. In Greece, probably.
he was having a walkabout and a bird was flying over the sort of...
This
over the
bird
beach.
was what? A great auk? What size bird killed him with his egg?
It was a big one, yeah.
Was it?
And the way they used to crack...
An ostrich on a hang glider?
The way they used to crack the eggs open to let the kids out, they used to drop them on rocks.
What bird is this? Dropping its egg to let the kids out? You're a maniac! You are a maniac!
And Plato had a little bald head.
Right.
So from the top, the bird's there looking down, and it goes, oh, there's a little rock, I'll drop the egg. Hit him on the head, killed him. Now, this is what I was saying before about...
I'm letting too much go now, because I'm so desensitised to his nonsense. I let him go. The bird saw Plato and said, there's a rock down there.
Yeah. Well, if these birds are killing people with bald heads, you've got to be terrified.
So, but listen, this is what I'm saying though, right? Before about knowledge and that, how knowledge is hassle, or success is hassle.
I think that was Newton. Knowledge is hassle.
Now, but why is Plato's intelligence got anything to do with the fact that this bird dropped an egg on his head?
Because he was intelligent, and he's probably earning a nice few quid
Yeah.
by giving out whatever messages he gave out.
Yeah.
He could afford to go on holiday to exotic places. If he was working in a factory, he wouldn't have been on this beach with big birds dropping eggs, is what I'm saying. So, in a way, it backfired. His knowledge killed him.
And that, I think, was Kierkegaard. His knowledge killed him.
He shouldn't have been on the beach. He was only there having a break or whatever from doing what he does. It wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on holiday.
This is an email we've had saying, Carl, what do you take by the well-known saying, a stitch in time saves 9?
Oh, a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No, but I, again, it's one of them like last week. I've heard of it, but
what does willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
So
but what
that's
does a
good.
stitch in time
So
save
you
9
understood
mean?
willy-nilly, so you used a
but it
phrase.
sounds nice,
you used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well, yeah, sort of. So
Okay, it's not that clear.
So if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need 1 stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches, and that, of course, is an analogy to other things.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means that isn't being done because you're messing about sorting out a hole in your coat. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than a stitch in time saves 9? So yours is, this is what you wanted to be a quote, right? Well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Karl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really
That is sensible.
bad.
That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice
Well,
for
it is,
anyone
though.
listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate.
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it, because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, "Oh yeah, you haven't been," and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a little a qualified doctor?
I don't know what they're doing up there.
What they
What
just
year
pop
are
the-
we in?
They. What are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Why are they still using the index finger?
What, would you prefer the forefinger or the thumb, would
No.
you?
No, what I mean is, we've got.
Or a thumb on a stick, some kind of thumb on a stick.
Yeah. Would you prefer it to
A
be
mechanical thumb, a robot thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera?
Well, they put the camera up if they initially discover something.
But just put the camera up straight away. If I'm
No,
paying
they
for
don't
the
need
visit.
to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do
Are
that.
you
in this
embarrassed?
day
Are
and
you
age.
embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella popping
A
his...
little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? You've got to go there. You
Yeah.
sat on the bus stressing out, thinking, oh, in less than half an hour I'm going to have a finger up the arse, right?
What is the problem?
And they go in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They check your testicles, yeah.
Yeah,
That's...
but it's all building, and you've sat there going, oh, soon that'll be happening.
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, he's over there, right?
Yeah.
And they crept up and went, bang. You go, what are you
prefer
doing?
that?
I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they?
Wow.
How can they teach? Imagine you squatting in a corner with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse going, it seems to be all right.
Carl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves 9." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
Who knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at
You would
least
get stuck.
Yeah.
You would get stuck.
Suzanne would come out, your fist would be up your own arse. Okay, I think it's probably time. Let me just check my watch. Yeah, it's monkey news time.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, yeah.
So this week, anyway, it's more about tall buildings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was this bloke who was a builder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you know what builders are like? They sort of move about, don't they, from sort of building to building, just building.
Well, yeah. Well, once they built it, the building's done, and they move on to build some more.
Building to building, just building, yeah.
So he goes to his next job and that, right?
Who does, the builder?
The builder.
Yep.
He goes to like the
The
boss,
new building.
the boss of this building, who's building it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he says what unto him?
Do you need anything building?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he says, yeah, there's plenty of work and that going about.
Yep.
He said, we're working on this one here. He said, get going on it, like, there's your bricks and your cement and stuff, get on with it.
Yeah.
Any plans?
So this,
Just build.
Just start building.
Yeah. Go up.
they're getting on with it and stuff, it's all going well. Right?
Yep.
But he notices that there's someone working high up, right, on the
Okay.
top bit. So anyway, he's saying to like the other workers, he's going, who's that up there?
Who's that up
Like,
there?
He's working on his own.
The little fella, was he?
And
The little hairy fella up there.
Who's the little hairy fella up there with the hard hat?
and the other fellows are going, look, don't ask questions. The boss decides who he takes on. We're happy to be getting paid here.
Don't ask questions! Well, I'll see him when he comes down.
So he said, well, he's pretty impressive, the work rate he's doing, the way he's getting from one girder to the other. He doesn't
Swinging,
seem,
is he?
He doesn't seem to be scared of the heights or anything. He said, no, just let him get on with it. We work well as a team. So anyway,
What nonsense is
So-
this?
so-
He believes all this.
Yep.
so he sees the boss and he goes, that fella up there, who's the fella up there? He's pretty good. And he's like, look, just get on with the job. Yeah, I'll pay you. Let's just all get on with our jobs. Like. Lunchtime comes, they're all sat on a little wall having the sandwiches. He's thinking he'll come down in a bit. He's just carrying on.
Is he just still going?
Still going on that, right? So the fella says to the boss man, he says, isn't that fella up there going to come down and join us for lunch? He said, like I said, mate, don't worry about him, right? He
He's
said,
very
"But-"
secretive. I'm suspicious about this fella. I don't know.
Yeah,
why,
I don't know.
I don't know why he's working through his lunch. I don't know why he's not scared of heights. And I don't know why he's swinging from girder to girder. It's weird. Go on.
So he said, oh, anyway, you've reminded me that he's up there. He said he's doing a lot of riveting and stuff up there. He probably needs some more nuts to...
Right, sure. And what kind of nuts is that? Is that nuts to food or?
So he said, what, nuts? He said, yeah, just there's a bag full of them there. Just put them on the hook, send them up, and he can get on with his job. So anyway, he picks these nuts up.
Nuts,
right?
yep.
Just hooks them on. He thinks they're not that heavy,
No.
considering, they're normally pretty heavy, aren't they? Like nuts
big
and
bag of
bolts and
nuts,
stuff.
yeah.
So anyway, he has a little glance in.
Oh, no, what's in there?
Nuts.
What, you mean nuts that you can eat?
Nuts that you can eat.
Oh.
Right? So they send the bag up and he's thinking, what's all that about? He checks him out, starts to stare, works it out. You can see that he's a little chimp running about. So he goes, I'm not happy with this.
Why
So-
isn't he?
Because he's working for an organisation that's, there's unions for this sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, he's not going, that's amazing. They've got a chimp riveting this building together.
Yeah.
That's not scary. He's wondering if they're breaking union rules.
So he
You
goes...
didn't half talk.
So he goes and has a word with
He
the
goes
boss.
to the boss and he goes, look, I've worked out what you're playing at here.
Yeah.
He said, oh, them out
Is the
there.
boss sitting in a tyre?
So he goes, look, we're just all trying to earn a living here. He said, don't get involved in it. I'm happy to pay you, but I'm paying him. Don't interfere.
He's paying him.
And he's saying, look, I'm just not happy with this. It's not allowed. So the boss was saying, well,
We
to be
pay
honest,
peanuts, we get monkeys.
mate, he said, to be honest, mate, he's a great worker. He's known for doing what he does. He's a good grafter. If one of you's going to go, right, I'm afraid I'll have to let you go because he's
Blimey.
been here longer than that.
He was made redundant.
None of
because
that
the monkey.
happened.
He was laid off.
None of that happened.
He's laid off and that. And that's
No.
where that's saying about, like there's a lot of tower blocks and that in America. It's like the chimp off the old block is where... So that's monkey news.
De La Soul, old school,
Brilliant,
roller skating jam named Saturday.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good stuff. Carl, so educating Ricky, you were going to tease us now with some of the big headlines. You've got there. You've got that. He's grooving. He really is in the groove there.
is dancing there.
Right.
Right.
So
Okay.
the way this works is
What would you rather be, Carl?
I teach you
Superheroes.
3 things.
A frog boy, yeah, that you could leap. You could leap onto a house, but you had to go first and leap onto a house. You're this frog boy, right? And that could be useful, couldn't it?
That's very useful, yeah.
Right. Amploid, where you've got your hands and microphones, and you can talk into your hand and your whole body. It's like 100 decibels. You can go, "Oi, come here," and people can hear you from miles away. Amploid, right? Right. Or sado, right? And that means that you can go up to anyone and go, all right, and they don't know why, they just get fed up for the whole day.
Which of those would you prefer? Don't answer now. Have a think about it. Have a think about it.
The frog thing, do I look like one, or...
No, you're just you and your little Ben Sherman shirt and everything, and they go, and people walk along and they go, oh, look at that young child from on that roof. He's gonna fall. I wish Frog Boy was here. And you go, blah. And you go down, you go, blah. And they go, here's him. And they don't recognise you when you're squatting. They go, I don't know who you are. And you leap up there and say, and you come back and they go, where's Frog Boy? And you're standing up and you go, don't know, he went that way.
Yeah, I'll probably have that one.
Would you
go with Frog Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay, go on.
Right, so, did that just go out?
What?
All that.
Go on, I've got a bad...
Hey, look, Rick, Carl's really planned this show. He's really worked out. He came in early, he was writing things down.
And there's me
planning
just
it,
coming up with rubbish
and
like
you're just talking rubbish. So, Carl, I know you've been
Right.
thinking this through. What have you got?
So, Educating Ricky, we did it last week. It's where I teach you some stuff, but rather than just teach you something, I tease you, so you want to know more, so you want to take in information, right? So,
if only people had taught you like that, Carl.
so
And also, it's the name of a film, sort of.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Coming up soon, Henry VIII and his, well, how many wives? Come back tomorrow, Carl, to find out.
right. Well, the little headlines I've got to sort of tease you with the story.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt me and I'm not very well. Go on.
Right, we've got
So this is what, sorry, I've just got lost for a minute there.
It's Educating Ricky.
This is Educating Ricky,
Yeah.
and these are the stories that these are the things you're going to tell him.
yeah.
But these are just headline versions.
These are headlines
This is not
because
the actual fact.
then I think people will remember things.
Okay, alright, so you,
do you know what I mean?
sort of bullet points.
Who can forget Hairy Chinese Boy?
Indeed, I shall never forget that.
Yeah.
So, first headline,
Ooh.
don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I've got no idea. It could be about the French Revolution, it could be about anything.
I know what it is!
No, you think you do, but...
No, it's something I taught you! Is it the fact that cockroaches can live for 9 days without a head?
That's part of it, but it's something different as well, that's why I thought we'd bring it up.
okay.
Okay, brilliant. So that's something to...
Next one, if you won't work it out, if only it was raining.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Go on.
And the last one, what's tomato with you?
What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
You're obsessed with puns, aren't you, at the moment, Kay?
It just works, I think it works.
Yeah. You love puns.
So, there you go.
So which of
Okay.
those are you going to choose, right?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to choose. Don't do that, you know it can't live without a head.
Can we play a tune and we'll come back with
Yeah, I
that?
reckon.
Find out what that is. Wow, what a history lesson that's going to be.
Dandy Warhols and Bohemian Like You on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl, what's the story then?
Right, so what did you say you're going for? You've got your 3 titles, your 3 teasers.
Well, I think I'm gonna go for Don't Do That to It. You know it can't live without an head.
I'm looking forward to this.
Right.
Right.
So this is Educating Ricky, for those that
Yeah.
have just tuned in.
Now, something that Ricky told me about when he was educating me was that a cockroach, if you cut its head off, it lives for a week,
Yeah.
right?
And the only
what
reason it dies is because it can't take on water.
Sure. It doesn't have a great time in that week, though, does it?
No.
I mean, it doesn't get much done, I don't imagine.
It just needs water, and because it can't find any, like its eyes, it eventually dies,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So what?
No, it's not. That's not. It's 'cause
Anyway.
it can't drink.
Anyway.
So have you heard that one about worms?
Okay.
I have. Go on.
If you cut a worm in half,
Yeah.
a lot of people have said in the past that it'll turn into 2 worms.
Right.
But that isn't actually true.
Okay. Who said that?
No, it used to be like, you know,
Kids at school
they said it on, kids at school and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, you know, a lot of people think that.
Don't pick him up on stuff, Steve. It's bad enough.
Sure.
So, but what they can do, if you get a worm, right, and you find out which end its head's at,
Right.
if you you've got its head there at the left-hand side, right, and if you sort of cut it in half,
Right.
but not in half, so there's more of its neck than the tail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bit that you've cut off will sort of die, and the rest of the worm will get better. So in a way, you can cut it in half, and it'll survive, but only one half will survive.
Okay.
Yeah? What have you learnt there?
I wish you hadn't chosen that one. Rick, to be honest.
I know, because it's not. It's nothing, is it?
Yeah,
You know that joke, you know that
vibration
joke, how do you tell a worm's head from its you put it in a bowl of flour and wait till it farts.
Yes.
Right? I told my mate that, right? And he went, what if it coughs?
Yeah.
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 So, there is a bit of truth in that myth of cutting one in half.
Where did you get this information? I don't understand where you get this information
that was from the Fortean Times. It was like the myth about worms.
Yeah.
That was the big article that week.
Did it take you as long to read that article as it took you to tell us just then?
I like the fact that it starts off debunking a myth
Yeah.
that we hadn't heard of anyway.
Exactly.
You know the big thing about cutting a worm in half and making 2 worms?
No.
Yeah. What's the other one? What's the other
It's not
headline?
the thing to do either, by the way. Don't go doing it.
No. It's not very nice.
But,
It's cruel.
but it can get by
And
if
it's
you do.
pointless.
Yeah.
There's no scientific worth
Yeah.
in that.
Well, there you go.
Okay then.
So the others now, you see
was the
what I
others?
do. No,
What
I
was the
tell you
others?
the other titles. You're not having them yet. That's the whole idea of this. People will be driving or about to go out doing the shopping. They'll think about that now.
What was the other 2?
Well, the other 2.
They won't think about that. They've forgotten
No,
that.
they will. They will.
No, they've forgotten that already.
If only it was raining. And what's tomato with you?
Right,
That-
you've
I'm
got to
looking
tell
forward
us-
to that one.
No, you've got to tell them tomorrow with you.
Look what's happening. You see, you already want more of education, and this is what listeners will be doing.
I tell you, I wish you were a teacher. I so wish you were a teacher.
Do you know what I mean? Kids would be saying, I know it's 3:30, but I don't want to go home, I want more.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm teaching you.
Why are
Taking
you
in
teaching
information.
me things about not to cut worms in half and what's tomato with you? Please tell me what's tomato with you, Carl.
In a bit.
No.
In a bit.
Rick,
What?
I tell you, he's thought the show through. He's
Yeah.
teasing the audience. You're excited. They're listening.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So listen, I think we should all, because we got your competition to squeeze in. We got all these great goodies. Let's not
This is
forget.
amazing.
Hello, Children of the Corn.
I do feel slightly
give that
guilty
away
that,
before
that
3
now this is Carl Pilkington show. I don't think we should have our names involved.
No.
It's not fair, is it? And I think we should give Carl the money.
I don't want my name to this. It's a Ricky Gervais show. Yeah? Right, the quiz.
Yeah.
Will we get that out of the way, because they've only got an hour to start.
Don't you worry
emailing.
about that, Carl. I've already got this one. I'm thinking on your terms now. Let's play a tune. We'll come back
What
with
we
the
playing?
big competition information. All right? Money Mark. We got a classic from Money Mark from his album Push the Button. Play that, Carl. And afterwards, are we excited? You got the competition. Look at his face. He's so excited now. He's thought this through.
He's loving it.
Rockbusters.
Yeah. What?
Agreed.
Yeah.
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 Should we do that?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Go on.
You're rejuvenated, are you?
Yeah, let's
You're feeling
go for it
okay.
now. Let's-
Second hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hangover finished with?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
all done? Good.
Done. Had some water.
Excellent. That'll often sort it out.
Yeah.
Well done.
Flea is the best way.
He just had an argument with a punter. Someone called up and said, I don't think a flea's very good. How would the flea know? Tell him what he said. He said, how would the flea know what train to get on? He went, he get to Euston and look at the timetable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went, we're not going to agree on this. He got annoyed at him, because the bloke said he'd be better to be a wasp.
Yeah.
A wasp would not survive, would it, on, you know, a Virgin train or something? So,
Why wouldn't it?
it just wouldn't, because people really don't like wasps, so somebody would end up clouting it and killing it, and that
Yeah.
brain would never get to his body, so...
That was the record before us, and here we are, pre-recorded, because we did this a few weeks ago, because we're not here at the moment, are we? We're away in that. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And Carl Pilkington. Well,
He's not actually with us.
No.
He'll be in some of the best of clips that will be coming up shortly.
yeah, this is just us, isn't it?
This is just us. We did this. When did we do this, Rick? A couple of weeks back.
Hold on, what is it? What
It's the
day is it?
27th today.
Yeah, well,
I enjoyed Christmas. I loved Christmas.
I loved Christmas.
I had a
loved
great
Christmas.
time. What would you get?
Oh, loads of presents.
So did
and
I.
I'm glad they made it to #1.
I'm really glad.
Stroke, he, she.
Yeah, I'm really glad that the pop idols Cliff Richard, Westlife made it to #1.
Bo Selector.
Bo Selector.
Yeah, just delete that. As
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to play some of the best of, some of the greatest moments of the last 3 weeks
Yeah.
ever heard on XFM 104.9. What about this? Do you remember this one?
Oh, which one is it?
I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant. Over there, Carl Pilkington. The man who believes anything. I think it might be a condition due to his little round head. It's sort of like, it might be a new condition that we can call cranial spherity. And because it presses on his lobes, and the only sort of upshot of that is he's normal in every way, but he believes everything he reads or
Yeah.
sees on Anna Nova. Alright?
Talking of which, Rick, I don't really follow the news.
No.
It's mainly boring, isn't it? Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, Yeah, well, it is a war. It's all this nonsense before and after. When it's a war, it's, you know, it's in the middle of the war, you can watch it on telly.
True.
You get results, you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a test match or something. But it's all this rubbish before and after. It drags on.
This recent war seemed, I thought, just generally, it was better presented than the previous one. Because I remember the
Well,
Gulf,
they're getting-
the first Gulf War, it was often during the night, and I
Disappointing.
couldn't stay up.
Yeah,
and stuff.
because I think the American had rights to it, like the Tyson fight, so we had to get it at 2 in the morning.
Exactly.
Which is annoying. They had it at, you know, their prime time and that.
Yeah,
And a lot
yeah,
of it
yeah.
was in black and white as well,
A
when the
lot of it
bombs
was
went
black
in.
and white with the bombs going in.
So,
and stuff. This
no,
time there seemed to be a lot more colourful stuff.
Yeah, it's much better coverage. I think they should win awards
Yeah, well, I'd like to
for
see
it.
awards,
So,
yeah.
like Channel 4 won for cricket.
Yeah, I mean, a few times as well, I was quite pleased to see they actually had footage of the bombs exploding.
Yeah.
from buildings and stuff.
No, good. Well done.
Generally, you know,
Good on
stuff.
you. Well done. Good on you.
Yeah, I don't know if
Costs
you-
a lot though, doesn't it?
Isn't it costly?
War's a lot more when you got something like, you know, a Jimmy Carr game show, which probably costs about £100 grand.
Yeah.
Like half an hour war costs
know.
millions.
It's almost
man.
as expensive as like Terminator 3 or something.
Yeah. But I mean, you know.
But then, you know-
you got a variety.
Exactly.
Sorry, Steve, you were talking, mate.
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure you're aware that the World Elephant Polo Championships have taken place.
I did get it. I
You're
think
aware
they
of that?
mentioned it on. Yeah, we won, didn't we?
England won.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, where have they been practicing?
I don't know.
Do you remember ever at school anyone ever saying to you, "Are you interested in playing polo
do you
with
reckon
elephants?"
do you reckon it was 5 blokes in pith helmets kept sneaking into a whipsnade?
Possibly.
What are you doing, lads? We're practicing. Get down.
Yeah.
Get off them elephants.
Yeah. I didn't even know we had a team. I can't
Elephant-
believe it.
no,
But it's like Johnny Wilkinson and the rugby lads, they're going to get MBEs, all sorts. The elephant boys, the elephant polo boys, nothing.
They get nothing.
I haven't seen the
But you
sun
know,
talking about
to
them.
be fair, it's not like horse polo where I don't think there's a stick long enough. I think the elephants kick it, don't they?
I think you might be right. I think they're not allowed to use their tusks.
They burst it, weren't they?
I think that's-
They go, oh,
Start again.
Raheem!
Yeah.
What do you mean the elephants kick it?
Alright, I've opened a can of worms here. You know, normal polo on a horse, they have like,
Yeah, stick and
mallets.
that.
yeah, they whack 'em, right? But I think it's, obviously they're too high up. I think, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they just train the elephant to kick it.
So
it's like-
why are people something about? Why not just let them have a kick about without...
Imagine that! And why does horse racing have to have a jockey? Well, they just let the horses go, oh, yeah, okay, lads, no cheating, on your marks, get set, go. You know, get back here. Get back here. Brilliant. Play a record.
Right, Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, this is absolutely fantastic.
His version of Wonderwall. If you've not heard it
Beautiful.
yet, you'll be loving it.
You'll be loving this.
This is the Best Of Show on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Yes.
I hope you're enjoying the Best Of.
There's a fella who, was in a coma for 20 years. Just, they kept, like, taking him through, like, the normal day. They take him to Alton Towers and stuff. Doesn't know anything about it, just kept going through the motions. Don't know if they kept charging him. Kept putting him through all that. He eventually came out of it. 20 years.
And went, stop taking me to Alton Towers, it's shit.
I just thought,
And
imagine how much
stop
post he had.
making, eh?
How much post?
Oh,
Did you read about that guy in the paper, Carl? He, sorry, on the internet. He in about, I think it was about 1984, 85, he had a terrible car accident.
But this
He
must be it.
He went
This
into a coma.
This must be what he's talking about.
Well, they didn't take him to Alton Towers.
Of course they didn't. But you've got to try and decipher the truth from the conjecture, from the thing that I mean, don't forget, Carl says, realises that he's had a dream. He talks to Suzanne and goes, that was good, wasn't it, last night we were in the plane? She goes, no, that's a dream. He goes, oh yeah, where's my cornflakes? You got to, you know what I mean? I can now decipher what he's actually seen, what he's read.
Well, go on, what did you...
Well, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
It is the same guy.
It was a guy in some small American town,
Yeah.
and he'd had a car crash, and he'd gone into a coma, and his wife had left him. She'd gone on with her life, because he'd been in a coma since then, and he had just woken up recently.
Marriage wasn't working.
Marriage wasn't working. He just wasn't paying enough attention. He actually had, she was pregnant at the time, and so now his daughter is basically the same age as he was when he went into the coma. And he's just started coming around, he's just started making jokes. They said, how do you feel? He said horny, which I thought was quite witty for a man who'd been in a coma for however many years. But anyway, yeah, so he's slowly trying to rebuild what life he can.
That's
What do you make
interesting.
of that though? Because the thing is that he's missed. Imagine what he's missed, Carl. Imagine the music that he's missed. The
Live
TV
Aid.
programs,
Missed
the
Live
news.
Aid.
Live Aid. He missed.
He missed
completely. The
Phil
Spice
Collins
Girls,
playing in 2 continents in one day.
Which, frankly, I'd be devastated if I discovered that.
Missed
happened.
Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't. So he'd put on ripped jeans and they go passe.
They just have to send him a series of those I Love 1986
Exactly.
programs with Kate Thornton filling him in on what he's missed.
Exactly. Peter Kay reminding him of space operas.
Yeah,
he
Richard
remembers
Blackman
those.
talking rubbish.
Yeah.
So extraordinary though, isn't it, Carl, to think? No, obviously
So,
not.
had he aged much? Because he hadn't had any problems or anything, no worries.
Well,
Is
he
that-
probably wouldn't have physiologically. He probably wouldn't have the wear and tear of a 43-year-old man
Was that a good
because
kid?
he wouldn't have had sun. He wouldn't have had sort of nicotine, beer.
Unless they were just feeding that to him.
Yeah, anyway,
to try and
still.
bring him round.
Yeah, yeah. So
You'd feel groggy though, wouldn't you?
yeah, you might feel a bit groggy. Yeah, yeah,
Well, he's not fully back to normal. I mean, there
No,
is some
it's-
kind of residual brain damage.
yeah.
But nevertheless, he can form sentences. He's got no real memory, so he can't remember a lot of things.
It was just when I saw
Carl,
it,
have
that's
you been in
why-
an accident? The Brilliant Blur, Out of Time on XFM 104.9.
One of my
post-Christmas.
favourite singles of the year, and that's another thing. We'll be playing our favourite singles of the year, as well as our favourite clips of our own show.
Rick, I imagine if people have got a bit of Christmas money, they're wondering what they can spend it on.
Office DVD.
Well, other than that, these guys have got some ideas.
What, adverts?
Uh-huh.
Brilliant. Placebo, Bitter End on XFM 104.9. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this a couple of weeks ago, before Christmas. I hope you had a great Christmas. If you didn't, not our fault, really, is it?
Nothing to do with us.
Wouldn't have thought we'd have.
We're of time because we've got plenty of cash now, thanks to a lot of you who probably bought the Office DVD.
Yeah.
Probably got
And
that
if you
in
haven't
stock,
yet, and you've maybe got vouchers or money, still available.
Still there in the shop.
Still available. You can still make it the best-selling DVD of all time.
Please.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. I'll tell you what you want to hear, though, before you make your mind up. I'll tell you what, if you like this next clip, go and buy the Office DVD. I think you will. It's a brilliant clip.
It's the one where we talk about, well, it's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
What's the best job you've ever had still, Carl? Talk like basis. It is still
Paper
the,
round.
Is it still the paper round?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No, it was good though. If you look at it, like, you know, what I liked about it, you're your own boss.
No, you're not. You're not your own boss.
No, the
The
guy
guy
who runs
news
the news
agents is your boss.
Alright. But then once you get out and you've got your papers and that, you sort of, you're on your
Do
own.
what you want
can
as long
think
as you
about
deliver the
stuff.
papers exactly to the places he said you are in the time he said.
Yeah.
It's
And I do.
freedom, isn't it? Any jobs you wouldn't do?
Go
I've just thought of one that you wouldn't do
on.
with your sort of mild homophobia.
Well, I'm not.
Proctologist.
What's that?
Basically sticking your finger at other people's arses.
Right, well, I wouldn't do that, no. Why have you got to do that?
What do you mean, why have you got to do
Well, why
that?
does anyone need that doing?
Have they got to look if they've got an arseache or something?
Which trainee doctor makes that their speciality?
Do you know what I mean? That must be, right, we got a place for proctologists, and it's you, Meadows. You
Yeah.
came last.
Oh, seriously, what? I'm not the arse doctor, am I?
Yeah, you came last.
Oh, I'm a bum GP. I can't
yeah,
believe it.
yeah. You got to, oh, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
I got a text from Carl yesterday, Steve.
A text from Carl, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just read it to you. Okay, see you to Moz for a face rub at 6:30 then. No bum tubes, though. So I was intrigued, and I called Carl and said, I think you've just sent me a text by mistake. What's the explanation of that?
My mate, right, Russell, he said, you know, there's things that go on in life that you need to experience.
Yeah.
He said, just pop along, and I didn't say yes straight away.
What's a face rub? You mean a facial? Where you lay down...
You just clean your face with a flannel
yeah.
and that.
So
but it's-
you're going to go lie down with another man and have your face
well,
fiddled
no,
with?
this is what I was saying to him. There's a
Well-
couple of questions. I didn't just say yes straight away. I questioned it. I said, well, I'm not that happy with this. So I said, look, there's nothing weird going on here, is there? I said, it's not a house, is it? It's a proper clinic and that. He said, yeah, it's proper. You wear a dressing gown and that. I said, well, I'm not that
So
happy
he's
with
already
that.
got you in the dressing gown?
Yeah, well, I haven't agreed to that. Today I've worn a little round polar neck sort of jumper so I don't have to take it off. It's not going to get in the way of my face. I made sure I didn't wear a shirt with a collar. I'm not taking this off. They can put the dressing gown on top of this.
Right.
I don't know if it's a woman who rubs my head. Don't know if it's a bloke or whatever.
Well, the thing is, you get extra, don't you, for your face rub, because your face goes all the way back over the top of your head down to the back of your neck.
but all I was-
So you've got a big face, haven't you?
All I was saying to him is, I'll have the face rub, but I don't know if once you're in there,
Right.
they try and sell you the old,
The old...
the bum tube thing.
What's a bum tube?
Is that a euphemism? What are you talking about?
The thing where they pop a tube in and put coffee in your belly and it cleans you out and that.
An enema? Why would you have that?
I don't want it. I don't think
Why
you
not?
need to. Just because I think I've said to you before about, you know, you don't need to be that clean inside. You know what I mean? I don't mind washing my face. But what occasion do you need where you're that cleaned out? Do you know what I mean? And it's always a clear tube and that, and you see all the stuff whizzing past. I don't understand why it's clear. I don't know why you've got to see what's coming out of you. Like it's, you know, like the generation game, making notes of what's whizzing past. Forget it.
I was watching some different TV, saw an amazing documentary. It was called Tribes. This guy, and he goes and lives with different tribes around the world, these small little indigenous people. And there was one, he went to Papua New Guinea in Indonesia, right, Carl? He lived with the Kombai tribe. All right. Now, this Papua New Guinea is an extraordinary place because it is one of the only places left on Earth that hasn't been fully explored. There are parts of it that it's just blank on the map because they've never explored there. They don't know what's there. They don't know what's going on. So, firstly, that must already freak you out. Imagine that, 21st century, they have no idea what's going on down there.
But do they need to know if there's nothing going on?
Well, they don't know what's going on. There could be stuff going on.
No, but there's no chance that they'll go, we haven't been over there, and someone goes and there's like an Arndale centre. Nothing's going to be there, is it? So there's no...
Well,
no
I'll tell you
point.
what is there, okay? There's these various small tribes. Some of these tribes are still cannibals, eating people from other tribes.
Do they know they could move on? Have they got a telly? Or have they seen a telly and gone, I'm not up for that? Or are they saying...
It's not the Amish.
They haven't chosen
But what is
this.
the difference between the Amish and these people?
Well, the Amish are a group of people that choose to live in that way. These people are just essentially untouched by civilization. I mean, they do have interaction with civilization and people do come there, but they still live in this very, very almost prehistoric way.
They did buy a telly, but there was nothing on because there isn't any broadcasters.
They couldn't plug it in.
Yeah.
They're having an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
But there was one guy, okay, now he said that his brother was dying. This was a couple of years ago, right? His brother was dying. He said to his dying brother, what happened? Why are you dying? This guy said, it was a bloke in another village. Okay, he goes over to the other village. He kills this other bloke, right? He eats him, or eats bits of him. The other village gets a bit annoyed. They go, what's going on? Why did you kill this bloke? He went, sorry about that, right? They said, well, you need to make it up to us. He gave him a pig. They said, a pig's not enough. They gave him 5 pigs, so 5 pigs apparently made up for the fact that they'd killed one of them. They said, well, hang on, what are you going to do with this bloke's wife?
Why were they bartering? Why didn't they just get the police in and say, what's going on?
What police?
Yeah. Why didn't they call in Kojak? Because he'd have sorted it out, wouldn't he?
What I mean is, right, they're miles away from anything, but it doesn't sound like the great place to live, right? Could they not move? Could one of them go, do you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm moving or whatever and go to a proper city. How far away is this these Papa people to the next
They're like the Smurfs. They're very like the Smurfs.
But how many miles away from a place with a normal life going on?
But think about this, Carl. Firstly, they don't speak the language. So they don't have any practical skills. They've got no experience of civilization. So even if they chose to go and live in one of these cities, what can they do? How can they function?
I think there's some bacteria that has better lives than that.
That's got to be offensive.
Why?
Okay, how about this is one of the weirdest things. This is one of the weirdest things, right?
Sorry. An entire people. An entire race
Just
of
dismiss.
people.
Just
No,
dismiss.
I'm not having a go, but I'm just saying I wouldn't fancy it, is what I mean.
But they
You what I mean?
don't
We're living
know
in
of
ice.
another world. How can they imagine that they could... Oh, I'll tell you what, this is boring. I'm tired of hunting for food and eating fish from the river. I'll tell you what, I'd like a world where there's iPods and room service. I'm going to go and move to New York. They're not thinking like that, are they, Carl? Because they don't know about this other world.
People go to these places on holiday now. They like a little bit of danger. They like to see how the others live. So all I'm saying is we know they exist. The Papa people, maybe people aren't going there. It doesn't sound like the best place. I can't imagine it having a tourist board or anything, right? But would they accept me if I popped over there and, with Suzanne in Papa?
Well, okay, this is one of the things that they do, okay, which is a tradition you may have to do. These Kombai, right, they invert their penises. So they push their penises back up inside their bodies.
Like a sock.
What for?
Well,
Keep it out of the way.
Of what?
Well, if you're running through the undergrowth chasing a hog, you don't want it flapping away,
But
But it's also become a kind of ceremonial thing. So if you were over there, you may well have to try it yourself.
You would have to try it yourself. If you went there, you'd have to try it
Definitely.
yourself.
but even cavemen had little pants on. Why haven't they?
Whoa!
Slow down.
Rewind.
What do you mean?
Again, you've been watching the Flintstones.
No. It's just, you know.
Is it a leopard skin pair of pants that's actually quite a... Go on.
But it's a well-known fact that they wore like bear pants or whatever.
Bare pants. What do you mean, bare pants? No. Listen, you are a qualified anthropologist. So what?
I mean that, you know, whenever you see them on footage or in a museum.
Footage.
Yeah.
Or-
Whenever
or
you
where-
see that
Well,
early
it's a bit
documentary
shaky, innit?
footage.
Yeah, it's black and white as well, isn't it? Caveman footage.
You always see them wearing a little bit of fur little pants and that. So what I'm saying is, even though what year is it to these people in the woods?
I don't know what this conversation
Don't
is
know.
anymore. He's just clutching at straws. His mind, it's like a fly. His mind, isn't it? It's just buzzing round. It's trying to find a window. It is just
It's
like
hitting against pieces of information, but then just bouncing off.
Yeah.
Dazed to perplexed.
Forget it then.
I was shopping with Carl before Christmas, and we went round sort of Piccadilly and St James's and those really beautiful shops around there. And I went in one shop. You had to ring a bell to enter.
Yeah.
They came down, and it's like a iconoclastic sort of shop, and they found things from churches and nearly all Russian 16th century pieces onwards. This beautiful carvings and paintings and statues. And I went, oh, it's beautiful. And as I was looking round, I heard Carl sidle up to the bloke and go, "What's the newest thing you've got here?"
Yeah. Sure, that's his first thought.
I mean, that is the wrong question to ask of a man who's clearly in antiques.
Yeah.
Proud of the fact he's got 16th century iconoclastic Russian stuff, to ask, "What's the newest thing you've got here?" I mean, what sort of question is that? Oh, I don't know, probably the doorbell. I don't know, what does he want of my shirt? What were you thinking?
hoping for?
And I think it's an alright question, because he was saying there's loads of old stuff in there, and he kept going on about the old stuff. So what was to say? Well, what's the newest thing you've got?
And what was
Do you know
the
what he
newest
said
thing?
to it? The other question he asked him? He said, "How often do you get new stuff in?" And I said to him, "Why did you ask that?" He said, "Well, I was thinking, if you got antiques and you sell it all, what's left?" Like someone's going to sell all the antiques in the world because they're not making. He said, "Because they're not making any new stuff." What does that mean? They're not making any new stuff.
But I know for a fact no one's ever going to go in there and buy the lot anyway. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not at any point in my life, and I don't think it'll ever happen, will I go, "I need some old Russian wood." Because
It was brilliant.
No,
it was, Steve.
no.
It was beautiful. It's amazing stuff. There's stuff. There's these things from the 16th century of sort of like saints and monks, and they're carved and
There's
they're.
loads of it. It's just all piled up. No one's interested. If I was him, I'd go, "Do you know what? I'm into this, but no one else is. Close shop." Because seriously, it's just piled up, piles up on piles of like old bits of wood with pictures on it and that.
But
There was
think
one
of a
fella-
man. Just think of a man 400 years ago that carved this.
No, but nobody wants it, do they? I've never heard anyone say, you know, "Oh, look, it's my birthday coming up. I'll tell you what I'd love.
What?
Bit of old Russian wood."
Ash, there's a star on XFM 104.9. Now, Steve.
Yes.
Carl text messaged me in the week, very excited, because he just watched a programme that proved me and you were stupid. Remember we sort of championed the anti-supernatural?
Yes. Skeptical view.
We're just absolutely skeptical about things like that. We're atheists. We don't believe in ghosts, anything like that. Anything supernatural. We're followers of James Randi, a genius of our times. But Carl saw something that proved us wrong. I'd like Carl to tell you what this proof was, what he saw on, and look at him. Go on then.
It was on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I was watching. You see, the problem is I didn't get the full story, so you could pick holes out of it.
Sure.
But I was
Unlike your usual investigations into the supernatural.
Which are
It was called. Can I just say what the programme was called?
Mr. Exorcist.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Sounds like an academic work to me.
the bit that I caught, I just flicked it over, sort of seeing what's on the telly, and I thought, "Oh, Exorcist, I've seen it, but there's nothing else," and I watch it, and then I realised it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have a bit of this. And there was an old woman and a daughter, and as far as I was aware, the bit I picked up on, they were saying, "Oh, you know, it's dreadful, and unless you've been through it, you know, you've had ghosts in your house and that, you really don't know what it's like."
Yeah, sure.
And the main thing that seemed to be getting them down was the fact that the budgie was getting stressed.
The budgie was getting stressed.
Because animals can sense the other side,
Oh,
can't
okay.
they?
Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And how was that manifesting itself? You don't know. What was the budgie doing?
I think it just wasn't happy.
Right. Did it explain that to people, or
No,
how
do you
did it
know,
express
I mean,
that?
budgies are known for being chirpy, aren't they?
I see, and it wasn't chirping.
It normally swings on its little perch and that. And
Just depressed because it was
Right.
possessed.
It was just sat around in its pajamas.
so
No, come on,
So
Steve.
the-
Come on, Steve. You're making this a mockery. So the budgie was depressed because he could sense the ghost.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then this
Yeah.
this guy, this Mr. Exorcist came round.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
Was he a priest or something?
yeah, he might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I picked
Did he?
up
Did he
at
have
the
a?
end.
Like a black coat with a little white collar? That's usually the.
He had his coat on, so you couldn't tell.
No, sure. Okay.
But so he came round and he sort of did his thing, and then
And was
the
he
next
trying?
shot,
Was he trying to exorcise the budgie?
No,
the
the
ghost.
house.
Right.
The
I
house,
see. It
yeah.
wasn't that the budgie had a demon or
clearing the
anything.
house
No.
out.
Okay.
No, this
So-
wasn't a possession, was it? This was a straightforward. It wasn't a poltergeist or anything. It was just a.
Well, a
he's-
haunted house.
Yeah, but
Sure.
that's the thing he was saying. He was saying you can have like your ghouls and that aren't that bad. That aren't going to cause you any
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
But obviously the budgie, they've got weak hearts and that, haven't they? and
Sure.
I
So
don't
so
know.
he go on. So
so anyway, basically he sorted it out, did whatever he did, and the next shot you see is like the budgie making a noise and swinging
It's
the
happy
eyes
again.
over the moon again, and the old woman was like happy because she was
she couldn't
getting
believe her luck.
stressed.
Yeah.
And that's
The priest didn't come in and go, well, you should feed that bird. Give it a bit of millet. It was happy. He goes, right.
no,
See you
it's-
later. No. It was a. So it's-
I mean, budgies are. My mum's got a budgie, and they're fairly happy all the time, aren't they? So it's got to be something fairly odd.
Right.
you never see a budgie sitting down going, I feel like topping myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Though?
No.
Do you know
no.
you can have like a moody dog? You can see a dog when it's unhappy if it's walking
Yeah.
down the street.
You can have a moody canary, can't you? And what they do is they often tell the police what you've been doing. They're known for that. Yeah.
So
basically,
so that for you is proof that the supernatural exists. A bird in a cage got a little bit annoyed, wasn't chirping as much as it normally did. Who knows why? There could have been a little draft up its, and
Cloaca.
exactly.
That's
Anyway,
a medical term.
Anyway, a man came in and did whatever he did.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend-
Mr. Exorcist, though, Steve.
Yeah.
This wasn't any bloke off the street. This was Mr. Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And for you, that's the proof that there's.
just because like if it was a person, you go, oh, they're playing up for the camera.
yeah, a budgie could possibly act like that, Steve.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You're saying a budgie would not be trying to. It wouldn't be trying to become famous. or
No,
just wanna get
not
on the telly.
like Lassie.
No, sure.
It was
sure.
basically a show off.
Yeah, or
So-
Champion the Wonder Horse.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
I've changed my tune, Rick. I don't know about you.
I have, and I think we should play a record.
I'd love to get Mr. Exorcist in. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Never dabble with things you don't understand,
Sorry.
like women. See what I did there?
Oh, he's turned that back on me.
Girls and boys there, Steve, on XFM 104.9. So it's not so bad really, because we didn't plan anything.
No.
We proved the supernatural. We were wrong about that.
Well, just one other question. Was there anything else in this woman's house that led her to believe that there were ghosts, or was it just the fact that Tweety or whatever his name wasn't chirping?
You see, this is the problem. I was watching UK Style. I was watching something on that.
What were you watching on that?
It was. Do you know? It's not changing rooms. It's like that, but cheaper.
Quite seriously, right? You might be the most interesting man in the world. I'm fascinated by it. I'd like to follow you. I'd like to have a hidden camera on you. I can ask you any question. I'd like to have you in a cupboard in my flat. So I just think about it. I wonder what Carl thinks of that. And I'd just throw some at you, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's what my dad did. Just kept me in the cupboard.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
I wonder what Carl would
You're
think
never
about
stuck
this.
for a conversation point if Carl's around. That's
No,
what's genius about
he's
it.
always got an opinion. He's got an opinion about everything.
Yeah.
It's
But I love the fact he was watching UK Star without a shadow of irony.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No,
It's
that's,
just
that's,
like-
no, that's what I like about him.
Exactly, that's what's
I wouldn't
brilliant.
like it if he was trying to be
No, he's not.
kitsch
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I like it because he's down the line, straightforward, no nonsense.
Yeah.
This is what I like. You know what I mean? He is going to be sort of like Jeffrey Boycott, Dickie Bird when he's about like 60 or 70. He's going to get on a bus and go to the driver somewhere, you need an haircut, you look like a scruffy get. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
going to be a great old bloke that
Genius.
he doesn't get chinned in the pub.
Yeah.
Right, people protect him, because he's like 70 or something. But it's great. You're looking forward. You're actually in that nod. That nod went. I can't wait to be 70.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Can I make a suggestion that we just get people, they can email in just questions or comments they'd like to hear from Carl. Maybe they just want to know his opinion on the Afghanistan situation.
Yeah, like,
or
you know, like
last night's Coronation Street, whatever.
Yeah, like they do it, you know, in the NME or magazine that coming up to the election, they go, Billy says Labour.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think
Carl.
the Sun has White Van Man. Each
Oh,
day they
right.
interview a guy who drives a white van, see his opinions on various topics. Carl is very much our white man van. White man van.
Yeah.
So
I think-
any query you have,
I think most of our listeners are,
any
to be honest.
opinion that you would like to hear voiced from the K-Man, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, or you can phone in, I forget what the number is.
Doesn't matter, does it?
700 800 1234.
Sweet.
Now, it's time for our first regular feature of the day. That film sounds good.
That film sounds good.
I stopped the film reviews because I've done all the films that are 9 or
Yep.
10 out of 10. I don't want to
Yep.
drop my standards.
Absolutely.
This is a feature where it's a soundtrack of a film where I like a single from it and might make me want to see the film, might have seen the film. Today is our first request.
Right, interesting.
This is for Martin, who wants to hear Live in the City by Stevie Wonder, and it's
Genius.
from Jungle Fever.
Let's hear it.
Well, I love the song
It's
and I
an
love the
absolute
film. Living for the City.
Genius.
Stevie Wonder.
The man's
From
a god.
film Jungle Fever.
Absolutely.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
Well, not to be confused with Living in the City, which I think is a Desiree track.
So
never
you
do
know,
that.
because you're a huge
But
Desiree fan. of
we were grooving along to that. It's a great, not my favourite Stevie Wonder track. I actually, for He's Mr. Know-It-All, but a great track. Stevie Wonder's just fantastic anyway. And during that, we just heads down, we just like, you know, just enjoying the moment. We said turn it up, didn't we? We liked it. Carl, just halfway through, just looking at me, he's got a driving licence.
Yep.
I went, what? He went, he's got a driving licence. I went, he went, yeah, just for his own land. I went, you don't need a driving licence for your own land. He went, you might be right. He said, who else is blind?
I remember hearing something. It was someone famous
Right.
who shouldn't have a driving licence,
Well,
and they have. And I'm sure
a lot
it's
of people.
Someone who's, I'm sure it was someone who's blind. But you're right. It's a bit of an odd one.
isn't it? No, but don't forget, you haven't just, this hasn't just happened, this is in your head. So you can't say that and go, isn't that weird, how did that happen? It's in your head, don't forget, at the moment. There is no proof
There's
of
no
this.
proof of that.
You can't say something and then go, isn't that strange? You said it.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? We didn't just see something happen out the window. Yeah, you know, do you see what I'm saying? What's in your head and what happened and all that? What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking, who's that other fella?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Why would he have a driving licence? He's blind as well. I think it's the blind thing we've got a problem with. It's the idea of people who are blind driving cars that's maybe made us question that. I mean, Stevie may have a driving licence. I very much doubt that he's passed his test.
No.
He probably hasn't even... I mean, he could have done the theory one, maybe. But
And
that's
it-
touchscreen.
And until Labradors actually are allowed on the Queen's Highway,
Exactly.
I don't think we'll see many blind people driving
I
cars.
might be wrong.
You might be, mightn't you? Oh, we hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you might be wrong.
Could well be
Well,
wrong.
there's a start. I fancy a bit of Ed Hardcore about now.
Well, Rick, you've embarrassed yourself because his name's Harcourt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just play the song, Carl.
Black Rebel Motorcycle Club and Love Burns, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
My name's Steve Merchant.
Carl, what's your name?
I press the buttons.
That's it.
Carl, I press the button.
Yeah. Oh, bless him. He's
People
got
are loving the K-Man, aren't they?
They are. People are saying they love him. He's just. Oh.
He is. He's
I think we've created a whole new Will McDonald.
I like to think so.
Yeah. Or Gordon the Gopher.
I used to have a show in Manchester.
You
Did
used
ya?
to host a show.
Yeah, overnights.
What kind of things was it? What kind of stuff?
What sort of tip were you on?
Phone-ins and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did a phone-in?
Not a proper one.
What did people phone in about?
No, they didn't. That was one problem. There was no phones. Go on.
No, just, you know, how things were going and that.
Problems. Were you like an agony uncle?
Kind of.
That's amazing. Imagine that. Imagine sending someone to Carl. You got problems? Is it delicate? We'll go to Carl Pilkington.
Hang on, looks like maybe there's some questions
Oh, we've got,
coming
I've
in.
got a few questions here. What's the one, what's Carl's view on...
Carl, what do you make of nudism?
Who's that from?
Let me just check who that's from. Hang
Sort of
on.
there's a time and a place for it.
That's from, it's very difficult to tell.
That's great, you see.
There's a time and a place for it.
That is just brilliant. That is Dickie Bird. That's that sort of northern, confident soundbite. What do you think of nudism? Time and a place for it.
There's a time and a place
Would you
for
do it, Steve?
Would I do nudism?
Yeah.
He's not allowed.
Not again.
No,
Yeah.
It's not nice, is it, really?
No, it's not with Steve. He's not allowed on any National Trust land doing it because he's caused the death of millions of starlings.
That's true.
There was something on BBC Choice the other night. It's a really short show. I haven't seen it before. Like an odd
It's
cod
not
thing.
a bloke eating copper soup and then another short show like maybe someone cleaning their teeth with Colgate and then a really short show. What was it called?
No, what it was about this old fella who he's into nudism, and he was saying he's done all right.
Does he play volleyball a lot?
He said he's done all right out of it because there's not many blokes who are willing to go nude for modelling and that, and he's about 70, so it's not.
Is there much cry for that, do you think? Is there much demand for a 70-year-old
He's doing all right for it.
Sure. Good luck to him.
And the odd thing was, you see,
He had a corkscrew penis.
he was just like walking around on a main road in like a
In the bug.
seaside town, and
Right.
and cars would.
See, that's not nudism, is it? That's mental illness.
Yeah, he's just a bit div.
Yeah.
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 So
I tell you, one of your favourite programmes, isn't one of your favourite programmes just that one with the hot air balloon? And it's
Yeah, you
adventures.
love that, don't
It just
you?
goes, it's like
Oh,
in
you love
Sydney,
that.
sometimes then it's at a carnival.
His favourite programme when he was little, he used to watch it for hours, was that Little Girl by a Blackboard with two toys.
Yeah.
He used to love
You
that, didn't you?
enjoyed that, didn't you?